Shortlet, what a brilliant conversation on what's up and about. But now we have an interesting interview with a beautiful young lady. Now we are joined by Damilola Chinedu. Now she is the founder of Deborah's Palace Initiative, a non-profitable organization dedicated to empowering young boys with the tools of guidance and encouragement needed to lead productive and fulfilling lives. We're happy to have you in Wake Up Nigeria. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
You look amazing, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's really good to be here.
Awesome. Now, I'm just wondering, most of the time when I do my research online, I always find out that women love to, do things for other women. But now you're doing something for the male gender.
Yeah.
For boys.
For boys.
Why?
Oh, well, so I think the world has been focused on conversations around women and girls, rightly so, considering where we're coming from,
True.
right? And then sort of, not negating, but for obvious reasons, not focusing on conversations around the boy child, and we think that it's really very important to have an awesome society. You need both the men and the women, right? The world, for the longest time, I've been focused on conversations around women and girls. And then the boy child is left by himself, to go through life without any form of, mentorship, any form of guidance. Hence the reason why, there are so many challenges, in the society. And then when we're looking at, crime and, all of the social vices, in the world, in our communities, and you point solely at the boy child,
True.
Someone who is talking to the boy child, who is speaking to the boy child. The girls are being trained from, young, being, the little age, so going to become better wives, better mothers. They are equipping us.
Yes.
I can't count how many conferences, how many conversations that I have, been privileged
you've attended and all.
Yes, focused on me, focused on how I can become better for myself. But unfortunately, we do not have that
for men.
the boys,
I totally agree.
unfortunately.
I'm trying to wrap my head around conferences and initiatives for boys, for men. I can't even count about 5. That's terrible. And that's beautiful as well, because for every lady you are training out there, it's also very important to train the boys or train the men as well. Now, you have an initiative. We have something happening for boys.
Yes.
Please tell me about it.
Oh, yeah. So in the last 6 years, what we've been doing is to engage boys through mentorship programs, which happens like once every year. So we go to schools and we engage
primary
with
school, secondary school?
Secondary school. Yes, so we
Wow.
engage with the Ministry of Education.
Oh, lovely.
To have like a long-term, termly conversation with the boys. So it's 13 weeks in the term, so we do 8 to 9 weeks. We go there with.
This happens as they're having their regular education.
Yeah, regular
programs.
education.
Okay.
So it's once a week.
Oh, nice.
Right. So we go to schools.
It feels like a club activity.
Well, it's maybe mentorship, not club.
Okay.
Yeah,
It
so
just
it's
feels more like a club. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
mentorship, right? So we go to schools and go with professionals, because we see that there's a lot of distraction. Boys
true.
are more, a lot of young people, particularly boys now, are more concerned about, content creation, social media, and that's a life, which is I'm not saying it's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
but then the fact that they're not taking school seriously,
True.
right?
True.
They're not. So I'm going to also speak about the JAM scholarship program that we had.
Oh, nice.
Where they enrolled, 20 boys, and at the end of the day, you see that a lot of them are not really committed to the conversation, which is pretty sad, because it then, speaks to United Nations' report in 2021 that says a little over. Not a little over, actually, over 244 million, children between the ages of 6 and 18 drop out of school every year. Unfortunately, guess what? 125.5 million of those children are boys.
Are boys.
Yes.
Wow,
right.
that's huge.
Yeah. So boys do not want to stay in school anymore. Boys they're concerned about getting rich quick.
Yeah, exactly. But don't you think one of the major problems, the reason why people or boys are dropping out of school, is because these days education isn't fun anymore?
Well, so hence the reason why, the mentorship program.
Oh,
right?
lovely.
So then we take professionals to their schools to speak to them, and then just sort of, engage them. You know, just storytelling has a huge role to play, you know, in conversations, right? So in the last couple of months, we've gone with the ED of Abbey Mortgage Bank. We've gone with, you know, Damilola the comedian. We did a goal setting and vision boarding activity. We went with David, you know, one of the David Edala, one of the award-winning photographers, and also, you know, Shemwa Ajayi, a lot of mentors, you know, just also share their teenage to adulthood story and how just sort of also mentor them into becoming awesome, right? So the fantastic thing about these conversations are boys they do not know, right? They're seeking knowledge, but there's really nowhere to, you know, find knowledge. So
sorry, just tell me about the results so far. I mean, with the names of the people like you mentioned, I'm just wondering, how did it turn out? How did they react? What did they do?
It was really fantastic.
Yeah, I can imagine. You have a comedian, you have like the bank owners of bank.
It was really fantastic because guess what? A lot of these boys thought, oh, maybe these guys just fell off the tree and they became, right? But sharing their teenage to adulthood personal stories were really, really very intriguing. You know? So someone like Uncle Alibaba, or let's even take...
Alibaba was there as well?
Of course. Also, we'll talk about the Creative Summer School. So we run other programs. So aside from the mentorship program, we have the Creative Summer School, which happens once every year. So we bring 20 boys. Last year we started. We brought 21 boys together in a safe space. It was sponsored by, you know, Abbey Mortgage Bank, Madhouse, and Multi-Choice Talent Factory. Yes, right. Nice,
so
we brought them into the same space. You know, also engaging them in you know, skills like cinematography, photography,
like
sound production,
workshops.
So it was a very intense 2 weeks. But beyond the skill acquisition program is also the mentorship. So that was where we had, you know, so for us, it's engaging boys in every way that we can. So when we are creating programs, the conversations are really more important to us because we see that in other people's stories, they become better for themselves. In mentorship, they become better. A lot of boys they don't have father figures in their lives, right? They don't see the mentors in their dads because fathers are absent, right? Fathers are busy with work and it's just mommy, right? Exactly. But they need to see a father figure that, you know, aligns with what they truly want to be. So when they hear these conversations from these men, oh, you really went through this, how were you able to, you know, navigate
so one interesting question that comes to mind is, I'm just wondering about, wondering for those children who, you know, are not in these schools, because I know we probably have like listed schools. Are there personal trainings or personal workshops or personal registration that can happen for private children? Because I'm just thinking, not everyone would have this opportunity, but I'm sure there are some kids watching right now that would say, oh, Mommy, I would really love to learn more from...
Oh, fantastic. So we have a wide range of programs that run throughout the year. So, of course, there's the mentorship program. There's the conference, you know, which brings everyone together, parents, educators, the boy child itself, which is actually also important.
And how do they get to reach you?
Well, so it's our website, www.debrahspalace.org. And then you can also visit our Instagram page, Debrah's Palace Initiative.
That's beautiful.
Reach out to me, Damilola Odie, that's Odie on Instagram.
Thank you so much. That is really awesome. That is all that we can take at this time. I'm also going to ask some personal questions outside this, all right? It's really been an amazing interview so far. I hope you guys are learning. I hope you guys are taking things down, all right? You guys are taking things down. You guys are jotting things down. Okay.